Welcome back, mamas. Y'all, today I am excited because I have some deep things to share with you today. Some revelations that I had that I believe are going to lead you on a path that you want to be on. It's all about trusting your gut, and I cannot wait for this to inspire you. So let's get to it. Do you wish you had control of your days, that you had a rhythm, but instead feel overwhelmed, scattered, and like there's never enough time? You're in the right place. I'm Danielle, a recovering workaholic, wife, and stay-at-home mom of 2 girls. I've learned how to reclaim my time and find purpose and freedom so I can be present with my kids and feel like myself again. Here, we embrace where we are, but we don't stay there. So if you're ready to trade the chaos for clarity, the guilt for grace, and the endless to-do list for aligned flow, grab the kiddos a snack and toss in that laundry because I know you're multitasking, and let's do this because your time, your purpose, and you matter. Okay, mamas, I feel like I have something special to share with you today. It's going to get a little deep. It's going to be a bit raw, and I cannot wait for you to hear this. And hopefully it will speak to you and it will really inspire you to want to move forward in your life. And so I was interviewing my coach last week, and this is what it was the impetus behind this episode right here. And I just want to share with you my journey, how this started for me and what this looked like for me. And I'm going to take you back to where maybe you're sitting right now, to that time where I was a mama. I had 2 littles at home. I decided to stay at home. I wanted to be the stay-at-home mom, but I really felt called to more. I felt called to more, and I didn't know what that looked like. And I also felt super shameful and guilty for these feelings that I was having. And I wound up, I've said this many times, but I wound up in this spiral. I wound up in this cycle of burnout, this overwhelmed feeling, because I know all moms are overwhelmed, right? Like we all have so much on our plates, but I wound up in this place where I wanted to be happy more than anything. Like I knew that I could be happy and I should be happy, yet I was not. I was not happy and I could not figure out why. And I knew I wanted more for myself, but I also didn't want to take myself away from my kids. I wanted to be there for them. I wanted to stay at home with them. And I didn't know what to do with myself, right? And so I wound up in this cycle of trying to do all of the things and doing it all wrong, right? It's why I actually developed this program that I'm now offering, my coaching, right? It's why I developed that. The Prioritize Your Purpose coaching is what I have called it, because I want you to be able to prioritize yourself and what you want and how you want more for yourself. And I have made all of the mistakes that I don't want you to make, right? So anyway, I'm going to start with a quote and then I'm going to get into the story. Okay. So this quote is actually from Jody Livon, and it says, "When you trust your gut, follow your heart, and use your head, magic happens." When you trust your gut, follow your heart, and use your head, magic happens. Okay. So for me, what this looks like is I trust my gut always, right? Like that's kind of what I've always gone on, is my gut. My gut is God, I believe. I believe that my gut is God speaking to me. And I have always felt this way. It's like intuition. It is not my heart. My heart, this says follow your heart, right? Like your heart is going to tell you what you love, right? Tell you the things that are important to you, right? But your gut is that knowing. It's that instinct. It's that place where I believe God, the Holy Spirit, resides in me, and it always can steer me in the right direction, right? If I don't let my heart get in the way, my head get in the way a lot of the times, right? Then I am able to really tune into that and follow my gut, right? And this says use your head, right? So when we use our head, our heart, and our gut all together, I do believe that is where the magic happens, right? Because we're trusting God, we're trusting our gut, right? Which I believe is God. You're following your heart, which is your passions, your desires, like what is has happened to you in your life, right? And the things that you've learned along the way. And then you use your head, which is, for me, that's like where the business part of things come in and how I'm able to help others, right? I believe. And so I loved this quote, and it totally, for me, I felt like it summed up this whole kind of story and this, this that I wanted to tell you about. So if I think back to when I was, that mom who was so lost, that mom who was, throwing spaghetti at the wall, that mom who was, I was at my rock bottom, right? I was at my rock bottom and no one knew it because I didn't tell anyone, right? I was just sitting there by myself, just feeling so helpless. I really did feel helpless. And I had this pulling that I was supposed to do more, but I knew that I did not have capacity for more. I was like, what does this mean for me? And what wound up happening for me was someone who had been like a mentor early in my career reached out to me with this like business opportunity, which was completely unlike her. I hadn't talked to her in a while. And, I was like, what is this? It was like a network marketing company. And I was like, what is she doing in this network marketing company for clothing? Like, what? And I had sold clothing, me, myself personally, had been a custom clothier for a hot minute. And so it kind of made sense why she was sharing it with me. But at the same time, I was like, are you serious? Like, I am getting ready. This was right before COVID. And I was getting ready to have to probably homeschool two kids because not really homeschool, but like COVID, they weren't able to go back to school. And so I had one starting kindergarten and one starting second grade. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I was just like, I don't know how this is going to work. But for some reason, it was a gut feeling that I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to say yes to this, and I was supposed to do this. And you guys, it really was God who was telling me to do this because while the business is not what I got, like the business was great, it was fun, whatnot. However, it was this yes that I said to this that then was able to pull me out of my funk because it gave me something for me. It had these amazing people that were joining this company that were God-centered, like the majority of them were God was their true north, and they were leading this company and they were doing these mindset calls and they were doing all of this inspirational stuff, and they were ending our calls in prayer, which was like completely unheard of to me, for any business to be doing. And I was eating it up. I was needing this in my life. It was a complete gut decision. It did not make sense in my head. I tried to make it not make sense in my head, but my heart was really pulling me there and my gut was telling me this is what I was supposed to do. And so I followed it. I followed it and it pulled me out of this funk I was in, out of this depression I was in, and it led me to be able to then figure out what I was supposed to do for myself. It allowed me the opportunity to figure that out because from where I wasn't in a place that I was able to do that. I wasn't in a place. And what I did was I was leaning on God in that time. I was reading my Bible every morning, my Bible app back then. I think it was the Bible app that I was reading every morning. And I still read it all the time now, but I don't do it every morning. I have devotionals and other things that I do now. But back in those days, I was reading my Bible app every morning. I had started to create this morning routine for myself where I needed to start in God's word. And I have talked many times on the podcast about how I used to take myself to the mirror to be able to go through the rest of my day and say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And you guys, I recognized, from my interview that I did, you're going to hear it on Thursday. I cannot wait. But from that interview, it had me recognize that really it was always God that was pulling me towards these things. It was God, even when I didn't know it was God. I did know it was God, but I guess I wasn't fully engrossed in that. And it wasn't like my faith was very important to me, and I was going to church and, doing all of the things, but I hadn't gotten to that place where I was relying on him for everything yet, which is now where I am. I'm sitting in that place now. And looking back on it, I recognize that he was guiding my steps. I knew this the whole time, but I didn't recognize, I guess, until I was just sitting here how much I was relying on him during all of this and how much he really was leading me through this. And I know that this is not a Christian podcast. And you are going to hear from Stephanie on Thursday, who she has a Christian podcast. Like it's Christian, it's online business for Christian women, right? And I am a part of her coaching program. But for her to talk about God and her faith and all of this was completely appropriate. And it was very much like, I cannot tell you how excited I am for Thursday, but it made me want to tell you my story prior to this, because when I look back on it, I was always leaning on God for my clarity, even when I didn't know it. Even when I didn't know it, I was leaning on him. And that is where it all started. So while I have this coaching program that I know is amazing and is going to help you, really, I believe that God was the first step to that, right? God was the first step to that, to all of that for me. It brought me to the place where I was able to get that clarity, where I'm now able to share that clarity with you. And these, I've told you, like I have a program now with steps that will walk you through this so that you are clear on what your more looks like. You are clear on getting what you want in your life so that you can feel fulfilled and happy in your days, so that you can have productive days, so you can feel fulfilled. I want this for you so much. And I started to really reflect on the fact that really my journey began with God leading me, right? And it wasn't until I was relying on him and trusting him that I was able to get to the place where I am now. And so that could be a key piece for a lot of you, is leaning on God. You're trusting your gut, right? And it also brought me to the place about your heart, following your heart. And I started to think about guarding your heart. And I used to talk about guarding your heart a lot. And I still believe that is important. And I should actually do an episode upcoming about guarding your heart from the outside world. That's probably another episode that we need again. But I started to think about it in a whole new light of guarding your heart, meaning what's in your heart. Like instead of, guarding it from the outside, guarding it also from the inside, guarding it from allowing what's in your heart to be swayed by this world, allowing the outside to influence or impact what you know in your heart to be true for you, right? So there's the gut that you can trust. That's God, I believe. And then there's your heart, which is, things that live in your heart. I believe God wrote things on your heart before you were even born, right? And that is what you are passionate about. It's what you're called to. I feel like it is why I do what I do now. It is because of what was, written on my heart. I am super passionate about helping others. And this is the way that I can do it in a way that I know will be impactful and will help, who I want to help, which is other moms, other women to be at their full potential, to be truly fulfilled and truly happy, both as mothers, but also as a partner, as a person, as a woman, right? And so I am so excited for Thursday's episode, but I felt like I needed to kind of have this pre-story for you of my journey and kind of prep you for that. So I can't wait. Please listen to Thursday's episode. Stephanie is absolutely amazing. And you do not have to be a Christian to listen to this episode on Thursday. I believe it will speak to anyone. But I believe that, for me and for my journey and for a lot of you, I believe that you might need to start leaning on God and trusting your instincts, trusting your gut, trusting what I believe that is God speaking to you, right? And so I'm going to end on one quote here. This is a quote from Billy Wilder. Trust your own instinct. Your mistakes might as well be your own instead of someone else's. Your mistakes might as well be your own instead of someone else's. I love that because when we're trusting our gut, when we're trusting our heart, we're following our heart and trusting our gut and using our head, like the beginning quote, that's the magic, right? When we're doing that, we are trusting our instincts and those are ours, right? It's what God has called to us. It's what He has put in front of us. We are trusting that instead of following the path that the world wants us to take or, being influenced by others. We are really getting clear and tuning in to what we want so that if we make a mistake, right, at least it's our mistake, right? At least it's not someone else's mistake. And we just followed it because we thought that was what the popular thing would be, or that was like the easy way out, right? It winds up being a super big mistake. If you're going to make a mistake, you might as well make the one that is going to be yours, right? I just love that quote and I wanted to share it with you. And I just want to end with an invitation to go to prioritizewithpurpose.com and go to prioritizewithpurpose.com/coaching. We'll take you exactly there and sign up for a call. Sign up for a call and let me help you walk through this so that you can be clear on what it is that you want. We will dial it down. We will get super specific. In our first call, we will do work. I believe it will be super eye-opening and helpful for you. We will uncover the reason behind your biggest struggle, and we will get you on a path to where you want to go. And we will uncover one thing. Like if you want to give me one thing that you want accomplished on this call, we will make that our priority and you can lead the way. But what I want for you is to be able to move towards that more that you want for yourself. I want you to be able to have that in your life and to know that you are worth it, to know that you are meant for that, and to know that you do not have to feel guilty for it. So until Thursday, y'all, go to prioritizewithpurpose.com, sign up for a discovery call. It's free. I will answer any questions that you might have, and we can see if this program is right for you. Okay. So I will talk to you on Thursday. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, Mama. If so, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and then hit share and send this to a mom who needs this in her day. I'll meet you right here on Thursday. Keep smiling, y'all.